there, Doodle Gang! Doodle here. Wow, it's been a little while since I've said that. And yes, of course, you all can, point at me and going, Doodle, you've been gone for a month. Where have you been? Well, I've just been unmotivated. I've been very unmotivated to play a lot of games recently. And I had a really funky period where I just was extremely unmotivated to do things. And I didn't have any video ideas in mind, but I thought we would come back and just discuss about a more recent topic that's been going around a lot lately, especially in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre community, about the pricing of the game. And I kind of wanted to talk about pricing in video games these days and, how that's going on because just of recent, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Twitter had posted about pricing of future stuff, such as, exclusive content and to executions and quote unquote free content and, skins and characters and whatnot. And what has been, rallying up in the community is the character pricing, which is at $10. And of course, for me, I thought for a second there maybe it was going to be like how Dead by Daylight does it with you get the killer and the survivor in a bundle depending, on its pricing. But let's just say it's the killer and the survivor and then bam, it's basically a $10, $11 chapter for you to buy. But it's not like that. It is one character for $10. And that's just insane for one character. That's basically a cosmetic pricing there instead of a character, and I feel like that's really out of the park. That is just the most wild pricing to put on it, because I honestly expected if you would get one character, it would be like, I don't know, $7.99 or even $5. And you're talking about a game that is $40. And people would say, "Oh, but you can get this, for free on the Game Pass." Of course, I'm not an Xbox person, so I'm assuming it is the Game Pass where you get it for free. But I have learned that you can't really play that game after it's removed from the Game Pass. So what happens then? You're gonna have to purchase the game. Now, I might be wrong. Again, I'm not an Xbox person. I'm literally the only PlayStation person in my household, so you know how it is. And yeah, it blew me out of the water to see how that pricing was, and especially in looking at other videos of other people, other YouTubers chatting about it, it is very obvious that Nancy and Danny are going to be very overpowered characters in the game. So, as like everyone else is saying, this is going to be basically a pay to win scenario. You're going to be dumping $10 for one character, and especially what everyone else has been talking about. What if someone else picks your character? You're going to leave the lobby because you want to play that character, and you're kind of forced to play that character because you bought that character, you know? And at the same time, it's a little disappointing to see it that way because you already know with how many people already dodge lobbies due to the fact like, oh, maybe they have to play Bubba. They don't want to play Bubba, so they leave, and it takes longer for the match to start. And sometimes the match won't even start because you don't get another player in time. And just, yeah, it's such an insane thing to talk about at the moment, and it's hard to believe that they put the pricing as that because I can understand, the exclusive content being a little bit more pricier because, of course, it is an exclusive skin and it gives you different things such as, a new skin, a new execution, a new weapon skin, stuff like that. But when it comes to a singular character that you might not be able to play at all sometimes, it's a little outrageous, and I do hope they might change it for the future. I'm not saying to, bop it down to like 5 or something. Maybe do it like the 7.99 or just knock it off a little bit. It might actually, be better for the future because you're looking at somebody who has wasted a lot of money on Dead by Daylight of all things and like Apex Legends. So I understand how the monies of the gamings works around here. And of course, I am a little ashamed of how much muns I've spent on Dead by Daylight and Apex Legends. And especially with how, other games that you need to pay for. Like if you compare something as, Apex Legends to Texas Chainsaw, of course there are many differences. Apex is a free game, but they're like they make their money off of, skins and gunk like that. Like for that kind of sense, since Dead by Daylight is a free to play game, of course they're gonna have rambunctious prices for things, like constantly. But to something with how Texas Chainsaw is, being a $40 game, definitely being more expensive than Dead by Daylight, because normally Dead by Daylight is on discount 24/7, and it's normally around like a $35 game. I haven't, looked at Dead by Daylight sales in such a long time. And plus, Dead by Daylight goes on sale of like a shit ton, so it's going to be around like the $20 range. So, I'm totally surprised that Dead by Daylight has not become free because it's kind of fucking weird that it's not free. I've I know I have not mentioned that before, but I always think about that because Dead by Daylight should be a free game at this point. That's just me. But you know what? I'm glad they're always on discount and stuff like that. But of course, if you compare it to the Texas Chainsaw with other games, like Apex and Fortnite, Apex and Fortnite gets their stuff from the over expensive skins and gunk like that. Of course, like with the Apex Legends situation about, recolored heirlooms and stuff like that, that is a big controversy. And of course, things being like $120 and above just to get one single thing. Yeah, it's a little bit complaining. You'll never see me spend that much money on that gunk. I only have two heirlooms in my life, and I've only gotten them out of the loot ticks just by sheer freaking luck. But besides talking about the another game, just how, Texas Chainsaw is, again, thinking about it, it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to go the Battle Pass route, like how Dead by Daylight does it. Because, before, even though I wasn't here in Dead by Daylight's early days, I was here in 2019, they didn't have the Rift yet. And then later on they did. So it wouldn't surprise me if Texas Chainsaw went that way because they're not really making more money at the moment because it is a new game. It's only been out for a little bit more than a month, and how are they going to keep up these sales if they're not going to like pump out more like skins and you can't constantly pump out characters because you're just going to have another like Apex Legends scenario where you can't pump out a legend every season. And how Dead by Daylight, I'm totally surprised they haven't taken a chapter break, and it kind of worries me in the future of how like do they have next year plan and the year before that plan, because of course like it's a little too out far fetched to think about, but I think about it sometimes because what happens when you run out of licenses and ideas for original characters? What are you gonna do then? Are you guys gonna finally focus on balancing the game, or finally updating maps that need to be updated? Actually, finally do like a chapter of killer reworks or something like that, like bless the freaking Lord that they're reworking Michael, because that's fantastic. Michael needs that rework. But besides that, with Texas Chainsaw, the only like money that they're gaining right now is people buying the game and buying the execution pack, which I feel like is a kind of bit of a BS thing because I really just want one execution. I don't want anybody else's because I thought like maybe I could buy Johnny separate because in the game when you go on Johnny's profile and click, oh, you want to buy this execution, it tells you it doesn't exist because you actually need to go to the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Store or Steam Store or whatnot and buy it from there. But you only get the ones that are there at the moment, and I just don't want that. I feel like it's already wasting money down the drain. I just really wanted to get the Johnny one, and I really don't want to get Cook. And I'm going to boldly assume they're going to be doing that from the time forward. They're going to be doing more bundles and stuff like that, and not allowing you to buy stuff for separate, which I feel like, they should let you buy stuff for separate. Dead by Daylight lets you buy stuff for separate, like cosmetics and survivors and stuff like that. And that is definitely another thing I wanted to talk about for Texas Chainsaw is maybe getting another currency in the game or something in that matter like shards so we don't have to pay for characters, we can grind for characters. And I know you're gonna be looking at me like, oh, we don't need that, we don't need to be like doing this as a Dead by Daylight copy, but at the same time I kind of feel like it would be more rewarding to grind for the characters and stuff like that. Like, especially, I know in the future, leak spoilers, if you don't want to hear that, just, skip to the future if you don't want to hear that gunk. But in the future, they're going to be doing bloody cosmetics, so I'm going to be assuming it's like how many kills you do and stuff like that. So have more stuff like that. The bloody cosmetics are such a great idea, and I do hope that we do get them next month. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to see it that way at the moment. But of course, Texas Chainsaw came out with just barely anything to get, and the only thing you could really buy was the executions, and that was about it. And of course, it's a new game. It just came out. You're not gonna expect everything known to man, but I kind of expected more at that time, but it's okay. I'm totally fine with it. But it's still, at the end of the day, it's really disappointing to see how the game is going to be pricing its stuff, because I don't want it to compare it to other things, but Dead by Daylight definitely has the win here, because usually Dead by Daylight does not have the win in my opinion, but right now Dead by Daylight does have the win on its pricing, and of course it Dead by Daylight is that weird side of like, if it's not going to be have dollar signs on it, we don't want it. And I feel like Texas Chainsaw is going to be the same way. And of course, not everything has to be free, but I wish there was another option to gain stuff like that. Especially, like I said, with characters. Just have some like random currency or something in that matter when you play games, and then over time you just buy another character like you do with shards. Or if you want, you can just buy the character with your money. But at that point, there's no point to buy that character with your money if the one character is going to be $10. And now I feel like it is going to be fair if it's a family member and a victim. That's definitely $10 to me. Like, that's totally $10 worth. Exactly like how Dead by Daylight does it. But if it's going to be a singular character, which you're probably not going to play at all half the time because people dodge lobbies, and sometimes you're going to have to dodge lobbies because you want to play that certain character, it's going to feel like you wasted your money in that case. And I know everyone else has been saying that, but I kind of want to say it too, because I totally 100% agree with that. I agree with it completely, and, I'm just totally freaking surprised that they didn't, like, price Johnny or Sissy. So I'm happy that they're not, like exclusive pay to win characters or anything, in that matter. Like, everyone's pretty fun to play, even though I haven't. The only two I haven't played yet was Cooker or Hitchhiker. I'm a little too nervous to play them, but yeah, besides everything, I say beside too much, but yeah, pricing for video games is really funky and really weird. And, I totally understand the fact that Texas Chainsaw is a paid game, like you need to pay for it to get it. But when you pretty much exclude a lot of things like characters by putting very high dollar signs on them, and marking free content as free when free content, like maps are generally supposed to be free, because if you didn't give people maps, you basically killed the game. And I know if somebody else said that, because I remember when I was doing my research, watching other people, watching other videos, looking through the comments of the Twitter posts and everything, uh, maps are definitely a thing that you cannot gatekeep from people. Like, if you do that, you're literally going to lose everybody. So why would you put that there and not something more useful to learn? You know, and I feel like they should have explained it more. Maybe I have to look back on the post. I'll show it here when I get to pre-editing and stuff like that. When I get to editing, I'll just pop it here if they say we would love feedback. But I don't know if they said that because I cannot remember if they did or not. But at the same time, you cannot do that to people. You cannot say that we're like free content maps, because it's just it's such useless information, because it's obviously going to be free. Because if it's not going to be free, you're screwing everybody over by having a map, behind a paywall, which is so uncalled for if you did that. And of course they're not doing it, but it's just such stupid information to give, when at the same time it's like, really, you put that there. You shouldn't put that there. Anyway, anything else we should talk about in this situation about pricing of games? Because, I gladly talked about the current TCM issues and stuff like that. I do hope they kind of consider the feedback, because I still feel like it's very stupid to have it that way. It's an odd thing, because I don't know. Because you already, like, a lot of people have already paid $40 for this game, and already, stacking the $10 per character kind of thing. Because if somebody wants the new family member and the new victim, that's going to be $20 down the drain. It's already, you invested $60 in this game. And trust me, I invested too much in Dead by Daylight already, as it is. Like, if you look at my Jake and Hunter's cosmetics, it's just like, it's money down the drain for me. And normally half the time I actually, in case if I wanted to, because a lot of like the earlier chapters of Dead by Daylight, I actually bought with shards because I actually grinded for that, and it was more satisfying to grind for those killers and survivors. And sometimes I buy, buy the chapters, but more likely it's going to be a licensed chapter I'm going to buy instead of, a original one. But, that's just me. And some people will buy it automatically. Some of us goobers don't have the money spirit. I normally do my commissions and whatnot to get me monies. And I'm trying to save me monies for better things. Instead of buying Goobriel in the Singularity. That is a lie. I actually did buy them. Like Skull Merchant. I did not buy Skull Merchant. I used it for shards. And thank God I did because, she sucks ass. But, that's another thing. That is another thing actually to point out. What if you did buy the character for Texas Chainsaw? That's $10. And the character sucks. You don't like them. You don't like how they work and stuff like that. Now what? You wasted $10 on something, and there was no other way you could have done it. Of course, you watch videos and crap like that, you research. You're like, oh yeah, I'll enjoy them. And then half the time you don't get to play them, or you don't like them. Now you have a character that you're kind of stuck with, and you wasted $10 down the drain. So yeah, that's another reason, of course. So at the end of the day, it's a very stupid decision. I do hope they at least, if they do it a two-character thing, make it like, I don't know, and just keep that to 10 or maybe like 11, like Dead by Daylight does, or at least do bundle-wise. If it's going to be a $10 per character, you better fucking believe that. I'm hoping to God that they do like a bundle thing. So like, let's say if you're getting Nancy, okay, you get an exclusive, you get a freaking execution with it, or a new skin with her, not just the character in general. I wish they could have, you know, like specified the way that they're going to be doing that, because of course, again, leaked content. If you don't want to learn about leaked content, skip above whenever I've stopped talking about it. There are leaked cosmetics for Danny that are not, recolors. So are they going to do that with alongside him when you buy him, or is that going to be in another different pack? Because that's going to be a very dick move if they actually do that in another pack and not just give it to Danny when you buy him. I feel like that's more justified if you give it to him when you buy him. So, of course, yeah, this is going to be a crazy October. As I'm recording this, it is October 1st, so happy spooky month, my goobers. But, it's it's a little insane. I've been ranting for almost 20 minutes. I mean, if you actually did reach the end of this video, listen to me, rant and chat about the new prices and stuff like that for Texas Chainsaw and be like, kind of chatting about other things, and especially, pricing in video games these days. I hope you did enjoy it. I think that's definitely all I'm going to talk about, and if you did make it this far, yes, thank you. And if you were the Doodle, like, big Doodle fan, you've been waiting for me for a month, I'm terribly sorry for disappearing. I am still active on Twitter occasionally, so if you see me post on there, I'm just, like, tired as hell. But of course, you have a Twitter. I do have a Twitter as well. It's Doodle by Daylight, D-Y Light. I just post whatever on there. Social media, like managing a like social media account for a YouTube channel is kind of odd, but I do appreciate all the goobers who check in and like my gunk, even though I just post the most random things. But yeah, again, I'm very sorry for disappearing for a month. I'm going to try not to do that again, but it's sometimes I get very just bleh when it comes to it. And if my voice sounds kind of bad, I'm a little sick, but it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter at all. But thank you for tuning in on this video, and if you like this video, you like me talking about Texas Chainsaw, Dead by Daylight, and all that good nonsense, hit that subscribe button, my goober. Hit that like button. I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate all the support on this channel, and hopefully in the future I'll have more stuff to talk about and play more games. I do hope in the future we get some more live streams going. I do hope eventually, because I would love to do some more Texas Chainsaw live streams and get back into Dead by Daylight, because I'm finally getting back into Dead by Daylight, which is honestly insane. I haven't played in a good while. The first clip that I had was actually me playing after a good while, and I mean, like, I'm getting back in the Huntress, so it's not too bad after all. And of course, I will be back once the mid-chapter drops with the Skull Merchant rework, so I will be testing out the Skull Merchant rework when that happens. But I think that's all. Thank you so much for tuning in on this little rant video, and again, join the Doodle gang if you want to. Got the Twitter. You know, I'm giving you all my cookies. Gonna give you goobers all these fabulous cookies. I hope you have a fantastic day in the fog, and I'll see you in the next trial whenever that will be. I have not seen any Dead by Daylight drama in a while. Well, I've only been seeing a lot of cool, like, concept art stuff on my feed, which is really cool. I actually really enjoy that. But, yeah, the pricing thing has kind of been erupting all over it, so, yeah. Anyway, I'll see you Cooper later. Bye-bye.